How are you doing today, Lisa?
I'm great.
So, hey, you go to the wellness center, right?
I do. Yes.
Do you run?
I do.
Okay, that's where I
Yes.
saw.
Yes.
Because when you messaged me about it, I saw the profile pic and I was like, I've seen her before.
Yep.
And then I don't know if you ever saw us, like me and my wife. We were like sometimes we're in the track walking just for warm up. But I seen you running with
yes.
What is her name?
Dr. Circe.
Oh,
Yep.
I knew she was a doctor.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
her daughter, I think is a friend of my daughter Victoria too.
Okay. So she's in 5th grade.
4th grade.
Oh.
Is she
okay.
in 5th grade?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
That's okay. I mean, I think she's probably friends with lots of people.
Oh, okay. No,
But yeah, she's my running partner. So we've been running, for like 3 years now.
Really?
And we used to run lots. Like we would run outside all the time. And our big goal was to, we try to run 750 miles a year. So, which it seems like a lot, but when you break it down, it's only like 2 miles a day, but we don't go every day. And we've tried to incorporate like weightlifting and biking, but yeah, we decided to become late in life runners. And
no, that's cool. No, funny thing is, I'm gonna say since the fall, I started getting to running also. That's why, like, if you see me, usually I'm at the wellness center every day except like once a week, and I'm running, and I run outside.
Yeah.
And I'm not much of a runner, but I do like it. One thing is, dude, I don't know how it is, but running is, I admire those people. I admire you guys running. I'm like, man, how do you guys keep running? I had Carly Hurd on, and
oh yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she told me she only started I thought she was a runner forever. She's like, no, she started later on. I'm like, oh snap, you can do that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, because so I'm used to. I'll talk about a little bit of myself. Then it's all about you. I don't like talking about myself, but I'm usually a weightlifter. I used to do powerlifting. I really like that stuff.
Oh, sure.
And I used to run back in the day too, but it was hard to do both. But lately I started running, and man, on the fall, because there was like a little running club with some friends. It was only from where Prentice Park is to the winery and then back. Somewhere around there. It should equal like 4 miles.
Yeah. I
remember that first time. Oh man, dude, I was dying.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
Yeah. And
now I'm not bragging. I could do it. I'm like, it's only 4 miles.
Right.
And I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
And then I started, I'm the one that complains about the cold all the time. And for some reason, now I run in the cold.
Oh,
I run when, even when it's like negative something, I've been in there in the mornings. I don't know. Now I'm not used to it, but I'm like, oh, snap, this is kind of fun. I won't do it in the snow because I'm kind of scared to fall.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. We used to run outside all the time. And then as we got older, it was like 3 years ago. We were like, ooh, let's go to the wellness center.
No, that makes sense.
So we switched, and now, but, and I hate the treadmill, because if I get on the treadmill and I get tired, then I can be done. I can just stop. But if I'm outside running and I run for a mile and I get tired, I have to get back, so you have to go back that mile. So it kind of forces you to keep with it. But running on the track inside is really boring.
Yeah.
But we prefer outside, but
it's the same thing with me. I think that's why I like running outside. I like having instead of just doing a circle.
Yes, just a circle.
Yeah. My wife, so now she got into running, but she runs on the treadmill.
Oh, I hate it.
And I don't like running on the treadmill, but she loves it. I'm like, how do you, because I say, let's run outside.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to run outside. Well, it's cold, but she doesn't want to run outside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you like the treadmill? And she says, because she could watch movies.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess, but I don't know. I just can't.
I get so bored.
There it is. Yeah. It's just, I can't, especially I don't know if I could focus. I don't know. When I run, it's just, I have a blast, and then, I'll just pop in some music.
Yep.
But I don't know if I could just walk. There was one time I remember this was years ago. I was still in college. My parents had a treadmill, and I was like, well, let me run on it, but let me also play some video games on it.
Oh gosh, at the same time.
No, it was like the worst thing. It didn't work. I was playing was it 2018 or something? I had the the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing Super Mario Odyssey. I tried to play it on there. Oh
gosh.
I forgot it has the motion control, so when I'm running,
oh sure,
it's Mario's throwing his cap, and then I have the little switch on there and I can't see. I'm like, no, this is stupid. What am I doing? Let me just focus on one thing.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah, I try to watch TV. Like I'll turn my phone on and I'll try, and I get so bored. Like
See-
even watching my favorite shows, I'm like, this is not what I want to be doing right now.
yeah. So hopefully the weather clears up. Funny
Yeah.
thing. So what is it? Today's March 7th.
Mhm.
Also, this is gonna be a little different. Usually it takes me like 3 weeks to upload an episode, but since we're gonna talk about Girl Scouts,
Yes.
hopefully this is up on Tuesday. So after a few days,
awesome.
Monday is the goal. Tuesday, whatever. So if people are wondering about my weird scheduling
It's
thing,
my fault.
nah, it's not cool. I like helping out. Like I wish if I would have known, I would have been like, hey, let's get this going before.
Yeah.
Same-
Well, again, it's my fault. I should have contacted you sooner.
Nah, it's all cool. No, funny thing is like, when I try to get people, I want to get anyone.
Yeah.
The only thing is because usually I get a guest and then I tell them, say, hey, or after, I'll be like, who do you recommend? And that's how I contact people. Because also
sure.
Facebook, I would love to contact a lot of people, but I use a page and for some reason, I cannot contact the person first. They have to
Oh.
contact me.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why if people are wondering, hey, how come he hasn't contacted you? No, it's because
Right.
either if I don't have an email
Right.
and you're on Facebook, I cannot contact you.
Oh, interesting.
That is, I don't know why. If I had a personal page,
Yeah.
or personal, it would work.
Yeah.
But if it's just a page, it doesn't.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's super, super weird. But what do you think about that weather today?
Well, I had some sad kids this morning that were all banking on at least a delay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so I grew up in Iowa and my dad worked for the street department. So anytime it snowed, I would always say, hey, Dad, what do you think? Are we going to have a snow day? And there was one time he gave me the wrong information and I told all my friends, my dad assures me we're having a 2-hour delay.
Oh, no.
So when my daughter woke up this morning and she was real bummed, I said, hey, it happens to all of us. Our dads give us the wrong information.
I just gave my daughter the wrong information last night too. So usually, we get the text message or whatever about 2 hours or all that stuff. Yep. And I never say anything, but yesterday, because I started getting a alert saying about a blizzard or a weather thing, just like, what was it, Monday or Tuesday, something like that. And then I told my daughter, after I picked her up from Boys and Girls Club, I said, hey, you're not going to go to school tomorrow.
Yeah.
And apparently, like on everything, I'm always wrong. And I was like, she woke up early.
Of course.
And she says, hey, a 2-hour delay? I'm like, no, I'm sorry.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter said to my husband last night, she said, do you think we're going to have a delay? And he's like, oh, for sure. And so then this morning when I was like, you got to get up. And she's like, I wanted that delay because she stayed up late and, talked to her friends and did all the things that high schoolers do instead of going to bed. So, but oh well.
What? Why would? So I'm trying to get someone from the school district.
Oh.
But why do they? Like, why a 2-hour delay? Like, does it make a difference? Because I'm like, it's still cold.
My guess is so that they don't have to make it up later. Because if we miss too many days, then we have to go longer in the summer. So my guess is that's why we've had so many 2-hour delays is just because then the kids still go to school and they don't have to make it up later.
Do they have to make it up? Like, technically...
I don't know for sure.
Okay.
I don't know the logistics of all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's been times where they've, had the kids go a few more days just to make it up. But
man, that's interesting. I want to talk with one of the head people because everyone's been, we're all once kids and we're like, no, we don't want to go to school.
Right. Yeah.
So I wonder how it feels to be like, if I ask, for example, the superintendent, hey, like,
how do you decide?
Yeah. How do you decide? Why are you ruining some of these kids, their moments? But
they're long weekends. They're potentially long weekends.
But no one wants to be the fun, wreck the fun and all that. So
and I'm like, go to school, get out of the house. I mean, not that I'm at home, but like my husband works from home. So it's like, you need to be gone so that dad can get work done.
Oh, yeah. So here's the other question I always ask. So what do you do?
Oh, okay. I am the Register of Deeds for the county. So I work at the courthouse and it is an elected position. I took office 6 years ago. So I'm on my second term. I do all the land records in the county. I do the marriage license. So if you want to get married in the state of South Dakota, you can come to my office and I'll help you get your license to get married. I issue the birth certificates, the death certificates, the marriage certificates. We do military discharge papers. We file those in our office so that if somebody is in the military and they're discharged, they can file it with me. And then later on, if their family is looking for their discharge papers, it's in my office.
Oh, snap.
But yeah, it's a county job, and I love it. It's fun. Okay.
Now we just had technical it's my headphones. No, the headphones that you guys have right now, I just bought them. So
okay.
you guys have the nice stuff. I'm still working with other things. So that means I've probably seen you or talked to you multiple times then.
Probably, depending. I mean, a lot of people, they don't know who I am until they come in to get their kid's birth certificate. And then it's funny because they'll come in and get the birth certificate when the child is born. And then they have to come back and get one before kindergarten or before soccer, because those are the two times in a child's life that you really need a birth certificate, is when you sign them up for soccer and when you get them ready for kindergarten. And by then you've probably misplaced it, or, you've put it somewhere so safe that you can't remember where it is. So a lot of times when I have people with new babies, I'll say to them, okay, well, I'll see you in 5 years when you come back for preschool or for kindergarten, because that's typically when people need their child's birth certificate.
Yeah, I just signed up Victoria for soccer and it said the birth certificate. But I said, I already gave it to her. It said only if you're new or something.
Yeah, if you're a new, sign up.
So I was trying to skip it and it won't let me skip. So I had to put a little Word document saying, I already gave it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, because when you go to sign your kid up for soccer, you have to upload the birth certificate. And as long as your child was born in the state of South Dakota, I can issue you a new copy.
So my kid was born in Mexico.
Oh, so that I couldn't do anything with that one.
Okay, but if they have the copy, it should be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, when I signed my son up, then the next year when I signed him up, he was already in the system. So, because the first year I had to I was at work and I was like, oh, I need to sign him up for soccer. And then I'm like, oh, look, I can print a copy right now. So I had my deputy do the work for me. And it was, so it's convenient, but.
So it's an elected position.
It is, yeah.
Why elected? Or is that how it is?
All of the department heads at the courthouse are elected. So the treasurer's office, and then the auditors and state's attorney, and then me. So we're all elected.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is there a reason? Oh, I'm just so fascinated about it.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why elected versus just
appointed?
Or,
I don't know. I really don't know, because there are appointed positions at the courthouse too. So the assessors, the veterans services, they're all appointed. So, and the highway department, those are all appointed positions. So, whoever applies for that and gets appointed, but we have to run every 4 years for our position.
Whoa. So do you also have to do those campaigns and everything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
The first year I ran, I was running against two people. I was running against the incumbent and somebody else who had previously worked in that office. And so that was kind of a interesting campaign. I went door to door and I talked to everybody, and and then 2 years ago when I had to run again, nobody ran against me. So I didn't have to do anything. I just had to get my petitions filled out and nominated. You have to have so many people sign your petition to nominate you to run for the position.
Is it nonpartisan, or do you have to pick a party?
Yes, you have to pick a party. I mean, you can do independent, but yeah, you pick a party.
Wow. Okay. I'm just so because I know, for example, so I actually, so that's why I recognize the name. That's why I recognize, because I do follow, what is it, the politic or election, when elections come up?
Yeah.
So I've seen that, and I saw that it was only one person.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah. So then I don't even get on the ballot. If I make it onto the petition, if my petition is the only one turned in, I automatically win. So okay. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How does when you campaign, because how for example, city council or Clay County, whatever, they're like, well, we want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But in your position, is it hard to explain people I'll do this better than my other candidate?
Yeah. There were some situations where I had ideas for the office because I really thought, things needed to like they didn't take credit cards at the time.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, why aren't we taking credit cards? And, because I don't carry cash practically ever.
Sure. Me
And
too.
most college kids don't carry a checkbook. So I'm like, why aren't we doing that? So that was one of my goals. Like if I
Ah.
were to get elected, I would start taking credit cards. And we did. And then I also, wanted to, there were a few other things like just better customer service skills that I wanted to bring to the office. And I had previously worked for the city at the time. Like I was working for the city. So, I mean, I had the customer service part down. But yeah, so when I took office, the first thing I did was start taking credit cards, and then COVID hit.
Oh.
So I got elected in like January of 19. I took office, and by March of 2020, our office was closed to the the public. And it was so good that I had started to take credit cards because we were able to continue doing business with people over the phone with credit cards. So we could still issue birth certificates, not face to face, but over the phone with a credit card. And then I could just mail the birth certificates instead of people, not being able to get those things because we were closed to the public. They could still, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, good thing I did what I did.
No, that's actually,
So,
because, if you think about it, like credit cards, even I just carry a debit card and a credit card. I don't even carry cash.
Who cares? I never carry cash.
Yeah, so if someone wants to rob me, I mean, like, I don't got nothing.
I know.
Just call.
Like you can take my bag, but there's nothing in there.
There you go. It's not worth it.
Exactly.
Wow. So that little thing, that's actually kind of cool. So when are you up?
In 2 years, I'll be up again.
Okay, 2 years. I just realized I was talking with a friend for school board. I was talking with Jake Skelton.
Oh, sure.
And he told me, I was like, hey, well, what's going on? He said, election's coming up. I'm like, man, it's already, I thought it was like for a year.
Yeah, I don't think theirs are as long.
It was, I think he said like, it's 3 years. I'm like,
yeah,
3 years is already up? Time flies fast now.
I know. I've actually like figured out, okay, I need to win like 8 more elections before I can retire.
Oh, no.
I don't think it's quite 8 anymore, but when I first took office, I thought, okay, if I was going to retire, this is how many election cycles I need to get through. So, and I love my job, so I hope that I never have to.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, like, why did you want that job?
Was
it like a goal since you were a kid? Or?
No. So my husband, he is an attorney, and he used to work in the state's attorney's office across the hall from the Register of Deeds office. And he picked me up one day for lunch, and he's like, we just were talking about what more can I do for the city of Vermilion? At that time, like I was like, I just feel like I'm in a position where I can't really advance, and I don't really want to do this job forever. And he said, well, maybe you could run for Register of Deeds. And we were under the impression that the current ROD was going to be retiring. So I talked to him, and I talked to a few other people, and a lot of people were encouraging me. They said, oh, you would be so good at that because it's really a lot of customer service and, being, like if you are coming in as a new parent who needs your kid's birth certificate and you don't understand how it works, you want somebody who is nice and explains it and that kind of thing. And so I thought, okay, I'll try it. And I started to look into it, and then I found out that she was not going to retire. And at that point, I had already decided I really kind of wanted this job. Like it sounded really fun. And yeah, the rest is history.
Hey, competition's good sometimes.
And it was, I don't know. I've had a lot of people who are very happy that I am there because, there's a lot of things that I've brought in. Like I said, the credit cards thing, the electronic recording. We have a software now where there's, on sometimes on those late night shows where they talk about like somebody trying to steal your. Yeah. So that's just like all of fear mongering. But I have a new software system that I use that people can actually sign up for alerts on their name. So if you own your property and somebody is trying to like file a document that's fraudulent with your name, if you sign up with my software, it'll actually email you and tell you that this document has been recorded in the Register of Deeds office with your name on it. And if it wasn't yours, then and you can come and talk to me and that kind of thing. It's interesting.
What about, will you guys do anything with AI software? Or probably not right now?
So the software company that we use, they actually do have a system where I could just scan it in. Like I could scan in a document and it would pull everything and kind of fill it in for me. But we chose not to do that just because we like to make sure that the information is correct. Because that's my office is like, you want the accurate information.
Yes.
So, but yeah, I don't really know.
It's not at that level yet.
I don't think so.
Okay. Still need that human aspect.
Right.
Wow. Do you have any goals? Like, do you want to, become mayor one day or president or?
No, but a lot of people tell me I should run for president. No, I am really happy to be where I'm at. I think for now, this is where I really enjoy my job. And, I get to know it's fun because I get to see like all the babies and I get to see all the people who are getting married and I get to be around for people's really happy occasions. Granted, I do the death certificates as well, which isn't always so happy, but obviously, but it's also nice to be able to talk to that person who maybe just lost somebody and, they just need to talk and that kind of thing. But no, I really enjoy
that's cool.
The personal customer service aspect of it.
That means you were probably there when me and Myra got married and it was during COVID.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
So we practically know each other now. That is so sweet.
We're like best friends now.
Wow. I promise we'll go into the Girl Scouts.
Okay,
man, that's so cool. It's just.
Yeah, because during COVID, so we started implementing appointments for marriages because we could only allow so many people in the office at one time. So during COVID, we would have, a lot of the things that we implemented, we've kept because it actually worked out really well. Like having people fill out their paperwork ahead of time and having an appointment, just things that kind of make everything run a little smoother. But those were things that we had to start doing during COVID. And it's just kind of worked.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
And the funny thing is we actually did have a lot of people who got married during COVID.
Really?
And I think it was because it was such a scary time. And it was like, let's do this now. You know what I mean? Like we had a lot of people who had been engaged for a while and then they were like, it's time. Like,
yeah. Let me tell you a little bit about the marriage thing. So what I was probably, now it's changed. So when we came up here in 2020, September 2020, and then 2021, I think, like in the beginning, I think it was like either January or right before December, I proposed to my wife and they were planning on getting married. So this is the part where I think every like wife and woman will hate me. So I thought this was my plan. I was telling Myra, I was like, hey, let's get married. I looked at a date because I had a call to see what was open.
Yep.
Before that, and I was like, well, why don't we do it on April 1st? For some reason, I said April 1st. And then I was like, yeah, let's just go through London. We'll go there during lunchtime, sign some papers, and get out. That was the plan. And she didn't like it. My parents didn't like it. The first time I came here, I didn't know. It was during COVID. I didn't know like we couldn't have the tradition, all that stuff. But no, like it was great. Like actually, I dressed up and I asked my boss if I could have the day off. He said, yeah, of course you have to have the day off. Because I told him.
Some people don't.
Yeah, I told him my plan and he says, no, I get the day off. And then like my coworkers and all of them, my boss, they all went and we had family and it was nice. I teared up a bit.
Aww.
So it was kind of cool.
That is good. I mean, we see it all. Like we literally see all of this. Like we've had couples who. We had one couple who it was during a blizzard and we were open and they were farmers and they were like, well, we can't really do much on the farm today. Let's go get married.
Oh, okay.
So they just showed up and got married that day because they couldn't do anything else. And then we get couples from literally all over because in South Dakota, there's no waiting period. Like you can literally get married within like you can fill out your paperwork and 15 minutes later you're married.
Wow.
So there's no waiting period. So we get a lot of people from Iowa because there is a waiting period in Iowa. We get a lot of people from Nebraska. We get a lot of people from Minnesota. And we are one of the only counties that actually does courthouse weddings. So like Lincoln County up in Sioux Falls, Minnehaha, they do not do courthouse weddings. So people will come to Clay County to get married because we will actually do the ceremonies here.
I think that's why, because that's why the whole time I was thinking during COVID, I was like, well, all we just got to do is sign. So maybe that's why when I was kind of surprised that they actually did the thing, especially like, because after that, like now my wife's like, man, we got to like do it again, or what's it called? Renew our vows or something?
Yeah, you can renew your vows.
Because
you don't have to do legally. You could just kind of do for fun.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I didn't know it was going to be like, like a ceremony and all that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know. I thought I was just going to sign a paper and that's it.
Nope.
Dang. See,
nope. They do a great job up in the clerk of court's office.
Good job on y'all's part. I'm so happy. Now, all right, now let's get back to why we're here. Girl Scouts, because you contacted me about it.
Yes.
And you gave me something.
I did. Those are Toastiers. Yeah. Those are our... those cookies came out a couple years ago, and this is actually the last year for those. They are being discontinued. Yep.
How come? Are they not?
They're not. I mean... So what we do is we have 9 different cookies, and every so often we get a new cookie, which means we have to phase out another cookie because we've tried a couple years ago. We tried to do an extra, like a 10th cookie, and that cookie was available only online, and it was a mess. It was chaotic because people wanted it, but they didn't want to have to pay for shipping, and they couldn't seem to keep it in stock. And so it's fine with the 9 cookies. Okay. But if they want to bring something new in, they have to get rid of something else. And I think Toastiers are just kind of run their course. It's like a cinnamon toast crunch cookie.
I like cinnamon toast crunch.
It's like a French toast cookie with like a frosting bottom, and it is pretty good. It reminds me a lot of like a Scooby snack.
Do you guys also have one that is a cookie that's lime flavored? No. Or lemon flavored?
Lemon. We have the lemonade, and that is like one of the best.
There you go. Yes. I've had that one. And then do you guys have something that's like a mint?
Yes, the thin mint.
Yeah. And I'm not a mint guy, but I've had those, and I'm like, hey, they're actually
so that's
good.
The number one cookie.
That's the number one cookie.
Really? Thin mints are the number one cookie. Yeah, and they're actually really, really good frozen. So I always kind of throw them in the freezer and then eat them because they just taste better frozen.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. So the thin mint is number 1. Caramel Delight, which we chatted about a little bit. That one is number 2. And then the third cookie is peanut butter patty.
I like peanut butter.
That's the chocolate peanut butter cookie. So it's a cookie with peanut butter and then it's dipped in chocolate. And people refer to it as just the peanut butter cookie. They say, do you have that peanut butter cookie? And there's 2 peanut butter cookies because there's the peanut butter sandwich, which is peanut butter and oatmeal. So it's practically healthy.
There you go.
But then there's the chocolate peanut butter. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into this Girl Scouts. So I'm going at this blind. I've heard everyone's heard of Girl Scouts. I know that.
Yes.
So I know there's Girl Scouts. I've heard of Boy Scouts. And then when I was younger, I remember in elementary school, they were talking about something called Cub Scouts.
Yes.
I remember one time asking they came in and they gave a flyer. And I told my dad, I was like, hey, can we do the Cub Scouts? And then if I remember right, I was just so young. I think he was like, maybe. And then we saw the price and he was like, nah.
Yeah.
Just go outside. There you go. We'll put a tent in the backyard. I forgot how much it was, but it was something outrageous.
I think that their dues are considerably higher than ours. Yeah. But, they do fundraising as well. And they're kind of, I think theirs includes like equipment and uniforms. I'm not really sure. Like I have a son, but he would rather be in Girl Scouts because he sees what his sister gets to do. And he's like, I want to do that. Like I want to do that fun stuff. And so he just gets to tag along occasionally, but we've never put him in Boy Scouts.
So what is Girl Scouts? Like what's it? Because everyone's heard about it.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very popular.
It is. So, so we start with kindergarten and those are the Daisy Girl Scouts. Okay, well, let me just backtrack.
Yeah.
So Girl Scouts started in 1912 down in Savannah, Georgia. Juliette Gordon Lowe, she was the founder, and it's kind of like every summer, girls kind of do like a pilgrimage down to Savannah to go to the birthplace of Girl Scouts. We were just there last summer, me and my high school girls. So anyway, the girls can start in kindergarten as daisies, and then kindergarten and first are Daisy Girl Scouts, and then second and third are Brownies, and then fourth and fifth are juniors, and then sixth and seventh are the cadets. And then as they get into high school, they become seniors, and then eventually they become ambassadors. But they're always Girl Scouts. So, and that's the difference between like Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, is I think they start out as Cub Scouts and then they become Boy Scouts, I think. But we're always Girl Scouts. So it's like Girl Scouts and then the little grade levels.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But what we do is we work on patches and badges, and we learn skills. I'm trying to think what we did just at our most recent meeting. So we have a kindergarten troop, and we have a first grade troop, and then we have second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then we have 6 and 7 and 8. They're in one troop. And then the high school girls are all together. And we only have a couple high school girls left, because typically by high school, they're so busy with everything else that Girl Scouts kind of falls to the wayside, which is too bad, because there's a lot of opportunities out there for Girl Scouts who are older. There's a lot of traveling opportunities. There's a lot of, opportunities like politically, like we're a part of the Iowa Council. So we have like Capitol Day, where the girls can actually go to the Capitol and and learn about how things work at the state level. So we've, unfortunately, being in South Dakota and we're in the Iowa Council, it's too hard to do that. But my daughter has had the opportunity to do the flag ceremony at the Capitol in Iowa for Girl Scouts. So she got to, it was a women's Hall of Fame for the state of Iowa. And my daughter got to do the flag ceremony for it through Girl Scouts. So, those are opportunities that the little girls don't get, but the high schoolers sometimes get. So
were you in Girl Scouts also?
I was, yes. Yes. So
how did that happen?
My mom, so I have 2 older sisters. And when my oldest sister was in kindergarten, my mom became a Girl Scout leader. And from there, we all became Girl Scouts. And in fact, my mom, so I graduated 20 some years ago, and my mom kept going. So my mom is still involved in Girl Scouts.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. She is a hardcore Girl Scout leader.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, I was the only one who finished in high school. I went through, kindergarten through high school. I was the only one who graduated that was a Girl Scout. And I'm sure my daughter will probably be the only one too. Hopefully not, but yeah. So yeah, it's just kind of in our blood. We're just, we have Girl Scouts in our blood.
Why? So why are you so involved in it? Do you just like it? Love it?
Well, I think it's such an amazing program for girls. It gives girls skills. Like I said, we work on patches. Some of those patches, we have cooking patches. We have entrepreneur patches. We have robotics. I mean, there's a lot of STEM things that we work on. We did one right before the election where it was a civics patch. So we taught the girls about elections and how elections work and things like that. Things that they're probably learning a little bit about, but we're really deep diving into this is how things work. And we've had speakers come in. 1 year. Okay. So just actually this fall, we did a football patch. And so we had Coach O'Boyle come and he taught the girls all about football, because so many times girls just don't know about football. I mean, there were leaders who were like, I did not know about this, and so we had O'Boyle come and he taught the girls all about football. He ran drills with them, things like that, where you're not going to get that at school, but it was just kind of a fun little way to earn a patch. And we talked about the women coaches in the NFL and just things like that. So it was really fun. But anyway, I feel like the reason I continue is when my daughter was in kindergarten, I decided I wanted to be a leader, just like my mom was. And then I took over. So now I'm in charge of all the Girl Scouts in Vermilion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So I'm in charge of the cookie sale. I'm in charge of the registrations and things like that. But like I said, I think it's just in my blood that this is what I do and this is what I feel passionate about. And I just really, I love the opportunities that it gives the girls, you know, and it's not an expensive thing to be in. Our registration fees are $25 a year, which is pretty good compared to, you know, like if you think about like sports, those are expensive and you have to travel all the time. But for Girl Scouts, it's pretty low maintenance. You know, we only meet once a month now because we're down to just a few leaders.
Ooh, okay.
That is one of the problems. It gets harder as the girls get older and they start quitting, then their moms start quitting, and
that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's why this year we lost quite a few leaders, and now I'm in charge of like the second, fourth in high school girls.
Oh snap!
So
and then like if they leave, and then you guys try to get like newer people.
Yeah.
So
like we try to find new adults to volunteer, but it's hard.
Okay. So here in Vermilion, is it throughout the years? Is it like is it going up, down, or is it just like that? Or you can't tell?
You know, we had a really strong program until COVID, and then COVID hit, and we lost so many girls. Like girls weren't signing up, and we are slowly kind of building our way back. But we have about 50 girls in the community who are registered Girl Scouts.
That's good.
And it is good, but we used to have a lot more.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But, like I said, we're just kind of in a rebuilding here, I think, because we lost quite a few leaders who didn't want to deal with COVID, and, it's fine. Well, but yeah, so we're just kind of trying to rebuild, and it's hard to find volunteers.
Yeah, it's so volunteering is because it's the time.
It is
time.
Yep.
And I remember, man, because now I was in sports, and now I appreciate the parents and all of them, like, because now, I'm at work, and, I go in at 8 and then get out like around 5:30, and then it's hard to find time because then sometimes maybe my kid's doing this, and whatever. I know one of them, my wife, she's trying to convince me. I'm thinking about it. Well, she was telling me, hey, why don't you volunteer to be a, what is it, soccer coach or something?
Oh, yeah.
Because also you get like a discount. And I'm like, funny thing is, I don't play soccer. I don't know the rules.
Right.
It's kind of weird. Like I should know it, but I just don't. But she was trying to learn. Yeah. She was trying to get me to do the softball. Because I played baseball.
Oh, okay.
I was really into it. And at first I was like, I don't want to volunteer. I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
And Victoria was in it for I think 2 years. Yeah. Last year was her second year. First year she was just in there. And then last year I was practicing with her a lot, and she got. I'm not bragging about my kid. I'm not. I swear I'm not. But but she started hitting the ball hard.
Yeah.
And she knew she was fielding. It was still coach pitch. I think now they're going to do kid pitch.
Oh, yeah.
But I was practicing with her, and I was thinking, I was like, man, maybe I should. I know one of the parents. I know Crystal, and I was like, should I? So I'm thinking about that, but it's the time.
Yeah.
Because, I got this going, and then there's other stuff and this. But the good thing is, like, you should be more involved with not just your kid, but like, being with, because you influence the kids and this and that. If there's nothing to do, then, kids get bored. And
they do get bored. And, that's one of the reasons why I really like Girl Scouts, because I feel like these, we meet after school. And for a lot of these girls, they're either going to go home and just like hang out, or they're going to go to Boys and Girls Club, which is fine. But this is just something different where they get to continue to learn, and they get to do different crafts and games and have that sisterhood, because they're with the same girls all the time at our Girl Scout meetings. And so they've got that sisterhood, where.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I have friends that I went to camp with when I was probably 13 that I still am friends with now at 42. Like, there is something about a Girl Scout friendship that you just cannot compare it to anything, because you've all, I mean, especially when you go to camp as an older scout, like we were all out in the rain together. We all dealt with that. It's like those memories are their core memories. And it's just, there is something so special about that sisterhood. And that's one of the things that, we have our Girl Scout promise, where we promise to be a sister to every Girl Scout. And we have the Girl Scout law and the Girl Scout, the promise, and just things that try to, you're trying to instill in these girls, like how to be a good citizen and also how to like treat other women, because that's the other thing is like women can be so mean to each other. And I'm trying to teach these girls, like, we don't need to be like that. Let's, be sisters to each other. And,
Here, tell me, I'm not going to go too off topic, but so I've noticed this. And I'm not bashing my wife. I love my wife, but I get scared of my wife sometimes when she's mad. But so tell me if this is true between like a guy and a girl, or male versus female. I've heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa. So with guys, like you can have two guys arguing, fighting, and punching each other. At the end of the day, they become like the best friends, and they're all cool.
Yeah,
I've heard that girls, women, females, when they, if they, argue or whatever, they hold a grudge forever. Is that kind of true or not? But they go at it like if they hate someone. Because I heard someone told me, who was it? Oh man, I forgot who told me. But they said that one of their wife's friends or whatever, that when they were just younger, that in basketball or something, they were playing a sport, they would not pass the ball to the other girl.
Oh.
Like they wouldn't at all. And then I think the coach said something like, hey, what's going on? Why aren't you passing the ball to her? And they said, oh, when they were little, she didn't sit at the table. And that was in elementary, and now they're in high school, and they're like ticked off about it.
Oh,
I'm like, really?
Wow. I like to think that we're not, but let's be honest. We are very good at holding grudges. Most women are. And especially when you are, and I think of my daughter and her friends, they're teenagers, and it's hard. I mean, it's hard to be a teenager. And then when you get a bunch of different dynamics and a bunch of different strong-willed girls, and it's tough. But that's why I really love Girl Scouts, because we don't really allow for that kind of stuff. We don't really allow for that kind of behavior. I mean, there are those dynamics that just don't work sometimes, but you try to work around it. Yeah.
I like when you talked about the patches, I like how, and you were mentioning all those activities, because that's what I think every parent, they want their kids to do more stuff and, stuff that actually I've been bringing up my wife a lot. No, I love her. I really do. I love her. I always say, if you ever hear me, this is what I say. My wife is 99% right on everything.
Yes.
And I am 99% wrong. But when she's wrong, I do say, hi, in your face. But anyways.
Oh, yeah.
But I know, like, for example, with our kid, Myra, it's not even a bad thing. Like she wants Victoria to be involved in everything.
Yeah.
Like, because Myra, I won't go into her childhood, but she never had those opportunities.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's why she's like, oh man, I want her to do this, this, or whatever. I know it's like, even with me right now, I still think I'm in a tricky spot, because I'm like, hey, we got to calm down a little bit. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. Like, hey, you're involved in a lot of stuff, but kind of like
pump the brakes.
Yeah. Because now, so the only thing is like, so she's involved in, Boys and Girls Club, but it's more like a daycare.
Right. It's like an after school program.
There you go.
Yeah.
But she's involved like with almost every single sport, which I'm okay with, but sometimes if you, it just depends on the season. They kind of overlap.
They do.
And I'm like, hey, we got to like kind of pick one or pick a few, and maybe she could focus on like one of them, not just put her like in every single thing. That's just me.
Yeah.
Or like, if there's the 4-H club, she's, I think she just put her in there. Now I might be that Girl Scout thing. Oh snap. But then she's also involved with like something with the church thing, and then this, and now I think also Myra wants her to be involved with, because apparently almost every kid does piano lessons, or almost everyone that.
Yeah, but they're hard to find a piano teacher, so good luck.
So she wants to involve on that stuff. I'm more like, hey, look, you can learn that stuff on YouTube for free, but that's just me.
But you got to get a piano, or at least a keyboard.
Yeah, I forgot the keyboard.
Yeah. You got to have that.
Yeah, we were doing it on, we practiced, because for some reason, like on YouTube Shorts, there was it said, some guy, it's so cool. He says, hey, how to impress your friends, just play these 2 notes, and it sounds really cool. So I'm like, well, we don't have a piano. So me and Victoria are using our iPad, and there's a the keyboard, whatever app. I mean, it works, but it's not the same.
No, you got to have that weight, because my daughter played the piano for a little while. She did. Then her teacher moved, but she did it on like a keyboard. And then when she would go to the actual lessons, it was on a piano. And there's such a difference in the weight of the keys. So even on an iPad and then switching, that would be really tough because you don't have that. And then the foot pedal and all that stuff. And
there's a foot. See.
Yeah, I never got to do piano and I never really wanted to. But I agree with, like, you know, if you haven't been able to do those things as a child, you want your child to be able to do those. Well, with me, I did all the Girl Scout stuff. So I want my daughter to do that too. And, you know, I would say, oh, you have to go to camp because you'll make the best friends at camp, you know, and here she's like, I don't really like to do that. I just want her to have the skills. And she has. I mean, even at kindergarten, when we started selling cookies and she was making change for people, I remember we were at church and we had a booth in the back of church and my daughter Maggie, she was making change for someone and her kindergarten teacher was standing next to her and she was so proud. And I thought, you didn't do that. That's Girl Scouts. Like Girl Scouts taught her how to handle money.
That's cool.
What kindergartner is handling money? You know?
Yeah, you learn.
But yeah, she's amazing at public speaking because she's been doing it since, you know, she gets up and does presentations at Girl Scouts and then she'll get up and do presentations at church. And now she's, you know, in high school and she's doing all the things. So I think that's, to me, that is one of the most important things is giving that girl that self-confidence that she can get by going to Girl Scouts because she gets to do all these things like, you know, money, learning how to run a business because it's a girl-led business. You know, we tell the girls like, yes, mom and dad can help, but it's your business. Like if you want to earn this t-shirt or this beach towel, then you have to sell your cookies. So
yeah, so that's why like I've seen you guys either like
we're all over.
Yeah, okay, that's why I know I've seen you guys at Hy-Vee.
Yes,
and then is it not Runnings?
Yes, Runnings.
Okay, it is Runnings then.
So Hy-Vee and Runnings, they have been so good to us. Like they let us pretty much live there during the cookie season. Tractor Supply, they are really good to us. Yep. So and they're great because they let us inside. A lot of places don't let us inside. So when it's cold and snowy, which is during cookie season, we have to be outside. But Hy-Vee, Runnings, and Tractor Supply, they are our biggest supporters. Like they let us in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you guys been selling good so far?
Yeah, we're on track to sell about 10,000 boxes of cookies this year. So
in Vermilion?
In Vermilion.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So cookie season started February 1st and is supposed to end March 23rd. However, because of those first few weeks where it was so cold and girls couldn't really get out and do much, they have extended it to April 7th. Or no, I'm sorry, April 13th. So now we have 3 extra weeks, which is great, but I'm also like ready to be done.
That makes sense.
So it's 2 months and now it's going to be 2.5 months. And, you know, people get so excited when they see us at first and then they start to not get so excited because they're like, I've already bought so many boxes of cookies.
Yeah.
But
and then here, I'll be the first one to admit it. Like, my wife buys the cookies. She likes it. And, but I get so like when we buy it and then we keep seeing y'all and because it's the little girls that are asking. And I'm like, I don't want to reject, but I have to.
No, you can. And we teach the girls. Like, that's the thing is we teach the girls, like when somebody says no, you say thank you anyway. Yeah. You know, like
that's good. That's cool.
And I would much rather, and the girls would too, they would much rather have you say no to them than to just ignore them. Because we get a lot of that too, where people just ignore them. And like, there's these little girls who are saying like, would you like to buy some cookies? And instead of just saying no, they just walk right by or, just, it's like they need to learn. And they do learn. You know, we have girls who are so good at saying like, oh, thank you anyway. And like, you know, like, thank you for your support. Because if you've already bought from somebody and you don't want to buy anymore and you say, oh, I'm sorry, I already bought some from somebody else. A lot of them, they know to say, oh, thank you for your support because they're all in this together.
Okay. I'll remember that because I am that guy I'm like,
Yeah,
go this
don't
way.
don't be scared of
All
us.
right. But it's kinda, I'm scared of them.
That's the thing is like they're just little girls.
I don't know. Have you seen that movie Dodgeball?
Yeah, like a long time ago.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah.
there's a scene where in the beginning they have a dodgeball tournament against these Girl Scouts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's probably my fear. But
Yeah,
the girls like,
no, we're not scary. But it's funny because my daughter is 15. And so she is like a rarity in this town because she's the oldest one. She's the only high schooler who sells cookies. So she gets comments all the time about, oh, shouldn't the girls be selling cookies? And she's like, I am the girl. And then people have said like, oh, they have the moms out here selling cookies. And she's like, I'm 15, and at the time she was actually only 14 when that happened.
yeah,
But it's so funny the way people like, they put their blinders on and we're okay with it. Like they literally have learned to take rejection,
okay,
which is great because when they get older and they are in the real world and they have rejection, they already know how to handle it.
Wow, that is very good.
Yeah. I mean, they can take it.
That's a good skill. That is actually a good skill to take and reject. Well, no, I don't say taking rejection, but I'm just fascinated, especially on the business part, because let's say if they ever have their own little small business or whatever, there are going to be times where
people tell you no.
No, so that's actually good.
But and then they're also, I mean, they're talking to strangers. They are literally asking strangers to buy cookies, and it's terrifying for some of those girls when they first get started. That they're here, they are at Hy-Vee, and they're asking everybody they see, and then by like year 2. They are just making deals and like,
That's cool.
So my favorite is when, and my daughter does this too, they're $6 right now and people will buy 4 boxes. And one of the girls will say, well, if you buy a 5th box, it's an even $30. And people, they are like, oh yeah. I mean, those are some of the skills. I mean, they're little entrepreneurs. They know like, hey, if I tell you that's going to be an easier dollar amount, then maybe you'll buy 1 more box.
Maybe that's why I ignore them, because they might get me. I might buy everything. Oh, snap.
Yeah. So $6 now. They were $5. I want to address this because I've had a lot of people who get very upset that the price has gone up. They went up $6 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And prior to that, they had gone from 4 to 5 in 1 year. And then they went from 5 to 6. But they've been 6 for 2 years now. And first of all, it's not the girls. They're not the ones setting the prices. So, because I feel so bad for these girls because people were like, oh, well, I remember when they were $3. Yeah. It's like, yeah, me too. That was in the 80s, But it's not their fault. We're just trying to keep up with. I mean, the first cookies that were ever sold were 35 cents. I mean, things have to, as we know now, things go up in price. But I often tell people, like, go to the grocery store and find one item in the grocery store that hasn't gone up in 2 years.
Man, like the eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
But I mean, cookies haven't gone up. It's been 2 years and they've stayed the same price. So I challenge people, like, go to the grocery store and find something else, especially a cookie that hasn't gone up in price in 2 years.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, like, if people are going to buy some cookies, like, you could go to Walmart and buy some cookies or whatever. I'm going to be honest, some of those cookies aren't that great at Walmart, but I think, like, even if they're $1 more, I would actually, if I'm going to pay something, I'd rather pay something that's actually pretty good. Yeah. And then I'm helping you guys out.
It's a donation.
Yeah.
And it's like a $6 donation and you're getting a box of cookies.
There
you know what I mean? Like, it's just like when you go to like the public broadcasting and they have those those fundraisers. Yeah. And if you pledge $100, you get this CD. It's a $6 donation. And in the end, you get a box of cookies.
There you go. You should tell your girls, like, hey, if you guys donate $30, we'll give you this
$5 of cookies.
It's actually pretty good.
And it's they earn prizes, and like some of the big prizes they give if you get to 1,000, which is very doable. We have a lot of girls get to 1,000 boxes, which is crazy to me because when I was growing up, the highest I ever sold was 300.
Whoa. Uh-huh.
But it was different back then. We used to have to like have an order form, and we'd have to take the order form around and collect orders. And then like a month later, all those cookies would come and you'd have to go back around and deliver them. So now the cookies are right here, instant gratification. Also, you can eat a box today and eat another box in 2 days, so they sell a lot more. But like my daughter, she consistently sells over 1,000. She's earned 2 iPads, free iPads for earning, for doing her cookies. She's earned 2 pairs of custom made Converse shoes. This year, her goal is $1,500 because the prize is a Dyson Airwrap, which is a $600 like curling iron that she's been wanting for years. So, but the thing is, she told me at the beginning of the season, she said, I'm only going to sell like 100 boxes of cookies because she's involved in show choir and dance. And she said, I just don't have time. And then she saw that she could earn a Dyson Airwrap. And she said, I'm selling 1,500 boxes of cookies. And she's at 12 right now. We're at 1,200. So
dang,
I know.
all that for
for us. But I'm not going to pay that. I'm not going to
that's
buy
true. Man, now I wonder if I should involve Victoria in it. So right now she's involved with that 4-H stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then what they're doing is that same thing, like a little fundraiser, selling like fruit and all that stuff.
They have their fruit sale.
Yeah, apparently she is, according to the tracker, whatever they use, Myra's taking up. She does all the counting stuff.
She takes care of all that.
Yeah, she's like in second place, and I was like, "How many have you sold?" And she's like 51 boxes or something. I'm like, "How do you do it?"
Yeah.
She says she just asks everyone. I'm like, that makes sense.
See, she'd probably be a really good cookie seller.
Probably. She's actually pretty good because sometimes, like, sometimes we sell Mexican food, we would sell tacos and everything.
Oh, sure.
Especially when we're doing it here and at Elk Point. Man, she is like an amazing salesperson. Like, we get a line.
Yeah.
And she just asks. She's like, hey, do you want like a drink or this and that, and then they see a little girl and
right.
they're like, okay,
yes.
So
and that is one of the things I always say, like when my kindergartners start selling, it's like, who is going to say no to a little girl? But I mean, like I said, that we do want you to tell them no. Okay.
So that's why I go
they need to learn. I mean, and they do. They because we actually go through it. Like we have like a cookie kickoff every year where we talk about, the flavors and the cost and the different ways you can sell, which is primarily booths. It used to be door-to-door sales, but in all reality, who goes door-to-door anymore? It's so hard with the girl schedules and people are never home. You know what I mean? Like people are busy and it's just, you get more business if you are in one location and people know to find you.
Yeah.
But we explain to them, okay, now if someone says no, what do you say?
No. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
You say, are you sure?
You go find them later.
No.
Crack their knees, say, hey, you're going to buy some?
No.
That's cool. No. So we are, we are like in an hour right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
that's how it is. But
oh gosh, that's so funny.
We still got a bit of time.
Okay.
And I'll give you the last words. Anything you want to give out? Information, Girl Scout stuff?
Oh, sure.
I'll put the stuff in the links too.
Okay. So cookies are available until April 13th. And you can usually find a girl at Hy-Vee or Runnings for sure on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. You can order online. If you go to, I can give you the link, but you can have girls deliver them to your door. So if you don't go out or if you don't get out on the weekends or if you just don't like to get out, girls will actually deliver straight. We do girl delivered. We actually also do direct deliver. So we have a lot of out of state, out of town friends who will buy and then have them directly shipped.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. And our council actually does a shipping special where if you buy 6 boxes, you get half off shipping, which is kind of nice. But cookies are still available until middle of April. I have tons of cookies at my house. If I don't have a cookie, I mean, obviously I connect people with girls. So I've had a lot of people from Facebook who will reach out to me and say, hey, I need cookies. And I'll find out like where they live in town. And then I'll have a girl who lives close to them reach out to them because then it's an easy connection So I try to facilitate a lot of cookie hookups.
That's well, okay, that's cool. All right.
So yeah.
Sweet.
So thanks for having us. And yeah, like I said, that's the last year for the Toast Yay. We do have gluten-free cookies. They are far better than, I forgot to tell you that we have 2 different bakers. So our cookies are different than like Yankton's cookies because we're in the Iowa Council. So our bakery is Interbake Bakery from Sioux City, and they make different cookies than the girls in like Yankton, Beersford, Sioux Falls. So we're different than them. We have the better cookies.
There you go.
We have we have like the lemonades. They have the lemon ups, and they're not as good.
I like the
and then
competition.
we have the gluten-free chocolate chip caramel, and they have like a toffee gluten-free. So other than that, our cookies are pretty much the same, but we do have the better ones.
Yeah. I'll make note of that.
So we have people who actually come from Yankton to get our cookies.
There you go.
They'll come on a weekend and hit up a girl for the good lemon cookies.
There you go. Showing those girls, hey, there's competition.
That's
and,
right.
Be number one.
It's confusing because we're in the Iowa Council. And so people do get very confused when they see our stuff that says Girl Scouts of Greater Iowa because we're in South Dakota. But it's because of a realignment. But I'm glad that we're with Iowa. We got the better cookie.
All right. I like that. I'll put everything in the links. Sweet.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. I want to thank you so much, Lisa.
Yes. Thanks for having me.